Good evening. Many Nova Scotians are on round 2 of shoveling after some places, including Halifax, were hit with their most significant snowfall so far this winter. There have been plenty of closures and cancellations. We began our coverage with CTV's Paul Hollingsworth. There he is. He's been outside covering this snowfall since early this morning, Paul.
Yeah, Todd, it's been a slow grind around the HRM today in a major storm-filled way. Early this morning, sidewalks and roadways were not clear, and at times, especially early in the morning, the snow was especially deep. Take a look at these images. All day long, it's been a battle getting ahead of the snow. Before dawn, plows were out in full force, but it took some time before a meaningful dent was made in the snow. The commute was slow, traffic was light, but as the day moved along, the roadways were cleared. The #1 priority was the urban core in Halifax, and then the work stretched beyond the peninsula of Halifax.
We have priority level streets, so our streets are cleared based on their priority level. So priority level 1 streets, like Roby Street, for example, that's a major corridor. It's a part of a transit network. It's close to hospitals and schools. Those level 1 streets are cleared before the level 2 streets, and the level 2 streets are the quieter, more residential neighborhoods.
And Todd, as that trend of clearing off those level two neighborhoods continues, it will stretch into the overnight, into tomorrow morning. And we're talking about those suburban areas and those faraway areas of the rural areas that are still part of the Halifax regional municipality, Todd.
Paul, you're in what amounts to the rush hour traffic still, in the last throes of it behind you. The plows are out. How long is that parking ban in Halifax expected to last?
It's a good question, and people at home should take note. The city is putting the notices on their social media platforms telling people that the parking ban will stay in effect for the overnight into tomorrow morning. So if people are tempted to park in the street, the city wants to disabuse them of that temptation, Todd, because they could get ticketed or they could even get towed.
You don't need that after the snow. Thank you, Paul Hollingsworth in North End Halifax.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the system moved up the coast to Cape Breton, where it gave islanders their first heavy snowfall of 2024. Here's CTV's Kyle Moore.
Cape Bretoners started the day digging out from the first significant snowfall of 2024.
You know what? The older I get, the less I like the white stuff. Used to like it as a kid, but I'm not overly excited by it now.
The snow started early this morning and lasted most of the day. Classes were canceled for many students on the island, and some businesses stayed closed. For those that had to clean up, this snowstorm was one too many.
We didn't need this. No, it's a little more than they said it was going to be.
CBRM plows focused on clearing the main roads first before working their way to the side streets. The wind creating blizzard-like conditions in some areas and made driving difficult.
Clearly, it's been a very difficult day on the roads with driving conditions. What we're mostly telling residents now is to try to stay off the roads and try to keep your vehicles off the roads so the plows can do their work in clearing the streets.
Firefighters responded to this King's Transit bus off the road along Crescent Drive in New Minas around 11:30 this morning. There were no injuries, and a heavy tow truck was requested to move the bus. King's Transit Authority later pulled all buses off the road due to the storm. Travel was also disrupted between North Sydney and Newfoundland today.
You know, we're seeing 3 to 4 meter seas in the Cabot Strait and winds that are up to around 80 or 90 kilometers an hour.
Daryl Mercer says this time of year, the vessels are mostly moving commercial traffic between the two provinces, which has been delayed several times over the last couple of months because of the weather.
This year, it seems like every single week we're having an impact where we're losing a couple of crossings a week, which has an impact on our customers. And we know that the inconvenience that can cause, and that's why when the storm systems move out, we work really, really efficiently and effectively to try to move that traffic as quickly as we can.
And as cleanup here continues, the CBRM says the overnight parking ban is in place. Not obeying it could result in a fine from police. Kyle Moore, CTV News, Glace Bay.
All right, let's go directly to the Weather Center. There's Katelynn Mitchell with, you've been tracking this all day long, the system where it's heading.
Yeah, it's a heavy snow event, especially for the province of Nova Scotia. We'll take a look at some of these preliminary snowfall reports. Now, the numbers in white were from volunteers and mostly from this morning. In a lot of cases, when those came in, the snow was still falling and accumulating. The numbers in yellow, though, are more updated snowfall reports or estimates that came in from this afternoon into this evening. Now, do keep in mind with this weather system, because because the winds were on the gusty side, there was quite a bit of drifting snow, so we'll have to take some of these reports as estimates. In around the Sydney area, though, getting some reports around 15 to 20 centimeters. Also had a report from Margaret Harbour, close to the 20 centimeter mark in Cape Breton. There were widespread reports of amounts just over the 20 centimeter mark in parts of Pictou and Antigonish counties, even areas of the eastern shore of mainland Nova Scotia, Spanish Ship Bay with 24 centimeters of snow. Moving further into towards central areas of Nova Scotia, including the Halifax area, reports of around 15 to 21 centimeters, just over 20 centimeters in parts of the Annapolis Valley. There was significant mixing in of ice pellets and rain right around the southwestern corner of Nova Scotia, and I got a report and pictures some pretty green looking grass in around Shag Harbour right in the southwest, and it was said there that this weather system came in mostly as rain. Now, there was some snow in other parts of the Maritimes as well. Grand Manan got clipped by some of the heavier snow. 15 centimeters reported there earlier this morning. 6 centimeters at the St. John Airport. Same thing goes around Sussex, and 5 centimeters at Moncton. And for Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown, an estimate of around 7 centimeters of snow, at least at the airport. And there, it was blowing around and drifting as well, creating some greasy road conditions and at times reduced visibility. Now, the snow's going to be sticking around. It's going to be a cold night ahead of us, and especially for Nova Scotia, where some of that snowfall turned slushier throughout the day. Be careful about it freezing up this evening and tonight, and there may be some icy spots around. As for those winds, Todd, they are going to remain gusty out of the north and northeast through this evening, but will diminish as we move through overnight and into Tuesday. I will have more on Tuesday's forecast and, of course, the weather coming up throughout the week a little bit later on.
Now, Katelynn, you say the snow's going to stick around. That's something those areas really haven't been used to this year.
Not this year. Yeah. At least not around, at least Atlantic coastal Nova Scotia.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check in with you in about 18 minutes' time. Thank you.